I was having a walk with one of my friend and he said something so bizarre to me which I cannot avoid because he was one of the most smartest guy I know. He was such a bright student at the time, like academically, one of the best minds in India. And now he left India, but he was mathematics student and also into computer science. He analyze, he's intelligent, and he said something. We were having some discussion about life, and he said like, if if human being ultimately seek happiness, why don't we just inject some chemical in our veins and be happy? Now, if you're smart, no matter where you are in the globe, and if you're honest, this is one outcome all of us will reach. And even if you're not so smart, silently, we all believe in it. Okay. Now, there are some people who are arrogant, who are like maybe chat GPT cooked, and they might say, no, this is like drugs endorsement, this is not correct. Well, he's not talking about drugs. He's, he's trying to, give a message which is much deeper. So he's trying to, so epistemology, if you, whatever you see, the way we understand reality, that's the only conclusion. I mean, if happiness is a state of mind, we can achieve it with some artificial means, some chemical. And if we seek like other experience, we can even, get that. So human beings are so absurd. From evolution, we have like survival instinct. We have like things like fear, and we get afraid. And what we did with it, like we do bungee jumping because we seek these experiences. We do adventure sports because it's fun. So we literally just exploit our survival instinct and just make money and do business with it. And there are a lot of like businesses built out of like adventure sports, which is kind of funny. All right, like this is not what fear is for. All right, just stop watching horror movies. Just making a joke here. So what I'm trying to say is like he's making the point that ultimately we have this we seek experiences. This is why we have emotions like fear of missing out, FOMO, because in our life we don't want to miss out experiences. But experiences is something which happen inside, and we can artificially generate those experiences. So now there is no way you can contest that, no matter. So there are some, there is some suppressed thought which we are having against it, which we are not trying to verbalize, but we are trying to, there is something inside us which is saying, well, not really, like I want organic, I want to be real, and I don't want like artificial happiness or something. Like some people find their happiness in the happiness of others, like kids. Well, you can inject them, they can be happy, and you can be happy. Or if you're happy by injecting yourself, well, does it matter like if your kids are happy? So, but again, like, why? Like, even though there is this intelligence which is giving this conclusion, and even though like if you use all your rational analyzing like everything, there's no way you can like think of anything else. Like it's really hard to contest, but we still feel like, all right, this cannot be ultimate. And this is where faith comes in. Okay, this is where like Buddha comes in. This is where like all mystic culture comes in. All right, so because again, like it's, if you're just relying on your intelligence, this is the ultimate conclusion. And all of us, even if we don't agree deep down, just believe in it and live a life with this mindset that we want more experiences and we don't want to miss out any experiences. All right, so if you think about like mystic culture, intelligence, like I shouldn't say intelligence, like wisdom, they don't say things like this. They say like like our knowledge is not complete, and there are a lot of things which we don't know, and whatever we see is not complete. So there is no way we can just rely on intelligence and just make some really bold decisions in our life. So Buddha actually won't agree with something like this, because Buddha will say that sensory pleasure, like whatever experiences which happen within the senses, is not shouldn't be your ultimate seeking. Okay, it's actually going to create much suffering, and it won't satisfy you in the long run. And there is no, like, he won't even do, like, if you're talking about like Buddha love, or like eternal bliss, or like true happiness in like Buddhism sense, this is not even happiness. This is just you craving more and more senses, okay, more and more sensory experience. You're clinging more hard, and this is just creating more dissatisfaction. So this won't work out basically. And if you live a life like this, like in delusion, in like basically, when I say things like drugs, I mean, any sort of sensory experience which you're craving, all right, like your body is craving all the time, or your habits, or your comfort zone, okay, like scrolling Instagram, let's say, or just if you're just quiet, just sitting with your thoughts, even those thoughts are something which you're craving. All right, some dreams, passion is not good. Love, these days most people what they call love, or there are a lot of romantic films out there which we watch, is just like inducing more and more passion in us. All right, like it's literally making us more and more addict, making us like more, like all the films, like inspiring movies, romantic movies, any dreams, any, all these things is actually you rejecting a calm state of mind and choosing a more restless mind, which is going to give you more and more dissatisfaction. So, my internet sucks because I switched to some really local brand. But my point here is that if you really think about intelligence, intelligence is a tool which can be used on things which is created by intelligence. Like, for example, you can do computer science with intelligence, because computer science is a system which is made by human beings. Okay. Even if you read physics, you can do it with intelligence, because it is something which is created by people like us. All right. Like, your cognition can comprehend some physics books, because it is something which is an output of cognition, okay. But your brain, happens, like your intelligence happens within existence. All right, and there is no way you can understand intelligence by um by your, like, you can I have no idea what I'm saying, okay. So but I hope just you get my point, okay. So this is why, like, calm state of mind is really required. And if you study like mystic culture, Buddhism, they talk about wisdom, and wisdom is not something which comes out of intelligence. It comes from experience, and experience is can be a way to acquire knowledge. All right. So again, like Buddha, whatever they wrote in Buddhism, or if you study like any other culture, it is an output of intelligence or rationality, okay. But the very understanding is not rational. So it's like you write a book about how you felt after getting slapped, or like what is this experience of getting slapped, but it is not equal to getting slapped, okay. So again, like, wisdom is must in our lives. Otherwise, the way we end up trusting our intelligence, or the faith on reason, like the enlightenment view, is driving you nuts. All right, like, if this is why every human being must be humble, because even the most smartest guy I know personally say a lot of dumb stuff, but he's not like literally just I mean, he's smart enough to understand, okay, he doesn't understand reality fully, but since his intelligence is something which he rely on, that's the sort of understanding he was having. But again, like, he's this is coming out of caution. All right, like, he's saying this with the by acknowledging that he might be wrong, okay. So he's not taking drugs or something. But there are some people who get so overconfident. um they, like, they just be nihilist. They are like, all right, just do whatever. This is why, like, wisdom is actually way more important. And in your current state, You might say life suck, and you might say a lot of bullshit stuff because you recognize yourself as like independent being, but you need to understand all the causes and condition is like aligning in a way which is generating this suffering. And you need to like just distance yourself from that chain, and just get the more calm state of mind, and you start to feel like life existence is perfect. Okay, existence is perfect, life is always perfect. All right, there's nothing to be do. There is nothing. There is nothing to chase. Everything is just beautiful, and whatever suffering is happening because of this dirt we call like intelligence. All right, so we are just overthinking a lot of stuff in life, and everyone is doing it, and this is why a lot of suffering patterns arise. But again, we can actually, if you achieve like wisdom in even in a rational way, you can start to see your life in a whole new glance. You start to understand that losing things, sacrificing yourself, like your body, surrendering everything, is the best way to live life instead of trying to grasp and control. Mainstream life teach you a lot of things which is junk, like love, for example. The way we, like most guys these days, they fall in love and they start to, like simps. There are a lot of simps who start to rationalize like this person is so perfect and like why you need that person and stuff. But again, like there are like bad states of mind in which we end up like thinking a lot of stuff. And you need to understand that bad state is the outcome of causes and condition, and causes and condition and reality and perception can change if you change your inner state of mind. Like literally, you can just, right now you're free to go anywhere and start a new life with more calm state of mind and live far better than how you're living right now. But the only thing which stops you is like some rigid logic. Okay, so I can give you like some example in some other videos. Like I talk about these things sometimes. All right, so all right, thanks for listening.